Going back to the original question is, should you buy tanzanite? I'll give you my humble view on tanzanite, and I think why everybody should be buying. Everybody knows the top four gemstones, right? Let's go simple. We got diamond, we got ruby, we got emerald, and we got sapphires. Is that right? We got a white, we got a blue, a green, and a red gem. There's always gonna have a space for another white gem. You're always gonna have a space for another green gem. Always gonna have a space for another red gem, and always gonna have a space for another blue gem. Blue, red, specifically, are the most desired colors in minerals. It does not matter what gemstone you're talking about. If you go for sapphire, right? What is the most valuable sapphire in the world is the top blue, top pink. If you can find like the sunset, the top sunset in pinkish. So anywhere between pink to red and blue, these are the most desirable color. If you have the best blue in the world sapphire versus the best pink sapphire versus the best yellow sapphire, the blue and the red will always command a higher price. I don't care what mineral it is. You go to diamond, you have a white top grade diamond, you have a blue top grade, a red top grade, and a yellow and a green top grade. Which one is going to be the most valuable? By far, it's going to be your blue and your red. It doesn't matter what mineral. There's a rule of thumb: red and blue are desirable colors since the world is world. Blue and red for gemstone, my friend, these are ultimate colors. You cannot go wrong. As a friend of mine said, that if you find any gemstone red natural or blue natural, you're settled for life. You're literally settled for life if there is a constant production of viable material. And he's right, 100% right. Again, question number one: what is the number 5 gemstone in the world today? Now I'll tell you, it's tanzanite. You have diamonds, ruby, emerald, sapphires, and tanzanite. After tanzanite is debatable. People can say alexandrite, people can say Paraíba tourmaline. The problem of these gemstones, which are, don't take me wrong, Paraíba is my favorite gemstone in the world. Alexandrite, one of my top 5 gemstones that people should buy. But there's a difference. There is no production of these gemstones in a constant base. There is no major one player in the market that commands and demands, that can dictate the price in the industry, that could secure the gemstone in a matter like you have Tanzanite One and their partners, right? Which is, you can say whatever you want. You can call it mafia, you can call it site holders, whatever you want. But they do one thing very well, is they do maintain a steady supply in the market, and they do maintain a steady price in the market. Not different from what De Beers does with diamonds. Is it crazy that diamond are the prices that they are with the volume of diamond that exists? It is crazy. But if you look at the point of taking what is produced, what exists in the market versus the demand in the market, right? I'll say like this: if they decided to take all the diamonds that they have and dump it in the market, diamond will collapse in a way that is unheard of for any other gemstone ever in the history of the gem world. But that will never happen. There's too many big companies out there. They are the base of the base of the base of diamond is the base of the jewelry business. It's like you see gemstones that have, let's say, an aquamarine in gold and platinum, right? And few times you're gonna see just the aquamarine in metal. Most of the jewelry in the world that is not just plain metal, like a plain gold chain or a plain silver chain or platinum chain, they do have diamond as somewhere in the piece, or as an accent, or as a main feature. And diamonds are diamonds. It's not going anywhere. De Beers is not gonna dump diamond nowhere. The other companies that are behind the beers, that are partners with the beers, they are very big players in the industry, and there's a lot of people that have interest in keeping the diamond at the price that diamond is, with a steady increase in price. I'll say, I don't know, maybe 3-4% a year, sometimes even higher, depending on how the financial year has been, right? But that being said, where tanzanite comes in this picture, very simple. Tanzanite is very similar to diamond in a smaller scale, right? Some of the tanzanite holders, site holders, are actually site holders on the beers also. They have that experience with being a site holder and how to slowly and steady release gemstones to the market in a way that it doesn't conflict with the industry in general, not allowing tanzanite to have a dumped price, right? I've seen dump in tanzanite maybe once or twice in over 25 years that I am in this business, but the moment that the tanzanite went, let's say 20% lower in price, other gemstones, they were like 80% lower in price. It wasn't like, oh, tanzanite is collapsing. No, it was a period in the gem market that everything was going down, right? That being said, I believe everybody, if you're watching this video, is because, or let's say if you're watching this far into the video, is because you love gemstones, you follow gemstones, you're a connoisseur, maybe you're interested in learning, maybe you respect my opinion, and maybe you're the first time you see me. I'm Tanner. I've been working in gemstones for over 25 years. I've been in several networks talking about gemstones, talking about jewelry. And I just like to give you guys a little perspective outside of everything you see in your daily jewelry source of info, right? Tanzanite is the number 5 gemstone for over 50 years, right? And my question to you is, if there wasn't a number 5 gemstone 1,000 years ago, there was not a number 5 gemstone 500 years ago. If you ask anybody that is in the gemstone business, what is the number 5 gemstone, let's say, from 1990s backwards, I don't think anybody can name a number 5 gem. I don't think, like, maybe people would say pearl. Pearl by no means will be the number 5 gemstone, in the sense that pearls are not for everybody. It's not extremely durable. It's not something that you can keep it for thousands of years, in my humble opinion. And it doesn't hold the value as much as tanzanite will hold, right? You have durability, you have a beautiful blue gemstone, you have a gemstone that is embraced in the market, you have a gemstone that fits for a young 5-year-old girl all the way to elder lady or gentleman. Is it totally unisex? It's a whole different level, right? That being said, tanzanite, I believe, since tanzanite was first launched, since tanzanite was first produced, it established itself as the number 5. In my humble opinion, that will always be in number 5 position, unless something crazy comes out of the mine, out of a mine in the world similar to a tanzanite, which I've never lived in a gemstone that has such an impact in the industry as a tanzanite. I've seen alexandrite from Russia, I've seen alexandrite from Brazil, I've seen Paraíba from Brazil, I see Paraíba from Nigeria, I see rubellite from Nigeria, I see rubellite in Brazil. In Mozambique, I've seen morganite from Mozambique. I've seen some crazy productions that they influence the market in big terms, don't take me wrong, but they're limited. They came and they were gone, and that's it. They lasted, some for 10 years, some for 20, some for 15, I'll say even lucky ones for 30, but they're gone. Tanzanite is a gemstone that has been there, has done that, it's still in the market. And remember one thing, even knowing that the mine is not producing, but the amount of tanzanite that was produced and that is already in the market, That's enough, guys, fuel for us to be talking about tanzanite for 400 years from now. And you're like, but how is that possible? Trust me when I say, I have a little video that mentioned, it's called The Dark Side of Gemstones. I'm gonna see if I leave a link here. Have a look. It's a short video. But one thing about the video that I want to call your attention to it is that a lot of gemstones that we trade, right, and that are out there in the industry, they will never become jewelry. And you're like, what? What do you mean? They is literally a gemstone that I'm gonna buy, right? I'll give you an example. I bought some tourmalines from the Santa Rosa mine 20 years ago. They were 10 to 20 carat pieces. Very nice, about 2,000 carats. I think I paid $45 to $65 a carat, right? I kept it in my vault. I know that I had, I think, about $80,000 on that specific gem in the vault, sitting there. And last year, my brother decided that he wanted to make an investment into a property. And he said, Dan, you want to come in with me in this investment? I said, oh, Tony, sure, but you got to give me some time because I got to raise some money here and I have some stones. Let me put it in the market. I had $80,000. I don't know, 15 years, 20 years ago when I bought this material. I took it out of the vault, put it in the market. I sold for about, I think, 160, was double my money. Understand, it's not about the double my money. Understand that $80,000 40 years ago was a lot of money, the same way that the 150, 160,000 is a lot of money today. If the gemstone had increased, I would say a little more than if I had kept my money in the bank, or if I had done your traditional investment. I still was better keeping the gemstone than keeping my money in the bank. That being said, the guy who bought from me, I guarantee you 100%, if I call him today and ask him if he still has the stones, he probably has the stones the same way that he bought from me inside of his vault. Why? Because he also bought the stones in a way for keeping and storing value. Instead of keeping his money sitting in a bank account, giving him 3-4% a year, you know that gemstone will increase at least in our experience, anywhere between 7 to 10% a year, if not higher, depending on how popular the tourmaline is in that specific year. But that being said, tanzanite, there's a lot of tanzanite that people bought it, they are out of the market, but they at any given time, they can go back to the market. It's just people have tanzanite that they bought it for store value, which is a great way to store value. Is gemstones. Let's say there is a flood, or let's say you live in LA, and there is one of those wildfires. Man, I'm not wishing this to nobody. Don't take me wrong here, but it could happen. And let's say you're in an area that is suitable for situations like that to happen. Let's say, of course, first thing you do is you take out your family, take your ass out of the house as quick as possible, right? And make sure everybody's safe. But let's say you have a little time. What you're gonna get? What you're gonna grab? First of all, your documents, right? See if you have like in a safe your titles, right? Any paperwork that you can, and any piece of art that you have, because that's something that you can raise some money. A suitcase with your watches, right? Imagine all of that. You know how much gold, for example, you need to carry if you want to carry $1 million. Guys, you're talking more than an average woman will be able to carry for 300 yards. I'll tell you that. Today, if you want to carry gold, it's about, let's say, 80,000 a kilo or maybe less. You're looking at 12 kilos. Let's put I'll go back and check on price of gold. But I'll tell you this. Carry $2 million in gold. You see how heavy $2 million in gold is. In cash, forget it. In cash, $2 million in cash is a suitcase full of money. Right? But in gemstone, $2 million, my friend. I put $2 million in a bag the size of a small bag like this. I can put it in my pocket. I can put it in my mouth, depending on the gemstone. If you want to go $10 million, say 10, I want $10 million. I'll buy one ruby for you, $10 million gone. But can I make money out of that ruby? My friend, easy. It's easier for you to sell a $10 million ruby, believe it or not, than you sell a $50,000 ruby. Why? Because people that have $10 million to buy a ruby, those guys, they do not have in their life the same problems that me and you have, which is what I'm gonna do to pay my monthly bill here or my mortgage. They don't have that. Those guys are money beyond what we know in our normal human average life. So the people that buy those type of rubies, or any other gemstone for that matter, they are looking for those gemstones. There's way more demand for those super one-of-a-kind high-end gemstones than there is gemstones in the world for the customers for that level of gemstones. That's why they have auction houses, because if you have a piece of this caliber, they put it in an auction, and I bet you there's 20 different people betting for that piece, right? That being said, I think that concludes this video for today. Just people asking why should buy. Let me make the long story short, because I know I talked about so many things, and I just want to make it more straight to the point for you guys. Look, tanzanite is a number 5 gemstone in the world. It has a unique place that, since gemstone is gemstone, I don't think any other gemstone achieved that position. For that reason alone, I think tanzanite is a gemstone that no longer is being produced at even close to the scale they used to be produced. It is a gemstone that I can see very, 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 very high potential for increase in value in the future, and I can't promise you what is the amount of increase that I expect for tanzanite, but I can tell you this: it will increase above your average investment in the bank, because that's the standard for gemstones of a higher end gemstone. That's the standard. That's why these gemstones, they continue being there, like diamonds, rubies, sapphire, emerald. These are solid in tanzanite. These are solid investment gemstones. I don't know anybody that ever lost money putting money in these gemstones. For example, Paraíba tourmaline, aquamarine, a medium to top grade. You can say tourmaline from medium color to top grade. I've never seen anybody complaining that they bought these gemstones and they lost so much money on it. Unless they are rookies in the business and they were scammed, or they didn't know what they were doing. Which, if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be investing in large sum of anything, right? But if they are in the business, if they are, or how can I say, if you're being mentored, or if you're being advised by somebody that is trustworthy, that you know that they know what they're talking about, they know they are serious in the business, I don't see you losing money in any of these gemstones, or at least in a large amount, right? By buying any of these gemstones that we just mentioned. Diamonds, again, great gemstone, but very steady. Emerald, I think out of the ruby, the sapphire, the diamond, I think is the one that gives you the highest potential to make some money. But tanzanite is up there, right? Tanzanite is very steady, a very reliable gemstone. The price is very sturdy in the market. If I see an up and down, yes, of course. It's not no gemstone or no business in the world only goes up. There's that fluctuation in the market, which is good, because then you have sometimes better buy, sometimes better to sell, so that gives you that flexibility. The miners are producing, will tanzanite disappear forever? I don't think so. Why? Because, as I said, some people, they buy gemstones as a way to store value And those gemstones, what happened is, doesn't mean that the guy just buy and keep it in his vault. Sometimes they buy and they will sell 50 times, and that gemstone will continue as a gemstone and without being ever mounted in jewelry, because it goes from my hand to this company hand and this company hand. It's not uncommon. You can ask many people in the business if they ever bought a gemstone that they sold. I bought this many times. I sold gemstones that 15 years later, I bought my own gemstone that I sold 15 years later from a completely different person, completely different country, and they were my gemstones. For example, I bought a gemstone in Tucson, Arizona. I sold to a gentleman from Pakistan. The gentleman sold to a guy from Thailand. That guy from Thailand sold for the guy in, let's say, in Germany. And my brother went to Germany and he bought these stones from this German company. He took it back. But I said, these are our stones that we sold for this guy, you remember? He said, I kind of remember these pieces now. I said, exactly. This happens all the time. That being said, buy tanzanite if you get it at the right price. Buy tips for if you're buying. People say buy over a carat. That works for the majority of the high-end gemstones. I would say in tanzanite, as is a gemstone that we did find, and we did have the chance to find in larger sizes, a good amount. I would say over a carat for sure. If you're looking for a minimum commercial ability to the gemstone, over a carat. But if possible, I'll go anywhere between 3 to 7 carat. I would say they're highly commercial. Anything above that, you gotta be into a more specific in the market. If it's lower than 3 carats, you gotta have more quantity. If it's over 7 carat, you gotta have the right customer or be in the gemstone business, right? But 3 to 7 is a sweet point in tanzanite that you can sell online. There's a lot of jewelers that can buy. Maybe your friend, your family member is in a price point that if they're looking for something a little bit more high-end to upgrade their collection, you probably can sell P2P, person to person, right? That's my piece of advice. Tanzanite, different from other people say. I heard some people say, oh, but this is that medium sweet color. No, tanzanite, there is no medium sweet color. The more intense, the better it is. That's why they have a grade between A to triple, quadruple A, depends on the company. So don't look at the amount of A's, right? Don't look at that. Some companies, they have A, double A, triple A, 5A, 6A, 7A. Doesn't matter. The top color, and for example, if you go to Shop LC, their top grade is 4A. In AAA, I never seen a difference between their 3A and 4A. I think they just called 3A what they set in 18 karat gold, 4A what they set in platinum. The gemstone itself, no difference. Their AAA as good as their quad A, 100% all day long. I know Shop LC quality jewelry like the palm of my hand, and you cannot go wrong with none of their tanzanite. If there is a gemstone in Shop LC that I highly recommend you to shop there, because they are the king of this gemstone, and the queen, and the prince, and all of above, and beyond, is their tanzanite, 100%. Again, depending on where you go, different names for different quality. At the end of the day, if you see a gemstone that is beautiful, that the color intensity is there, you have a top grade. Tanzanite is not the most difficult gemstone in the world, by no means, for you to know the difference between a light color, medium, and a deep, saturated, nice color. Well, for tanzanite, make sure you look at the cut. Tanzanite high-end should never have inclusion. Tanzanite, even though that you could buy a tanzanite that have slight inclusion, high-end tanzanite will never have inclusion. This will not change today, will not change tomorrow. The same applies for Paraíba. You may buy Paraíba that have inclusion. I trade with Paraíba that have inclusion. It is a normal characteristic for the gemstone. They still hold tremendous value, even the included material. But the top high-end Paraíba will be flawless. No doubt in that. That being said, thank you. My name is Samuel Denise. A little bit of general knowledge for you guys today. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, leave a comment. It really helps us. I'm trying to grow this community, and the like and subscribe really help. And I want to say thank you very much if you watched this entire video. Subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna try to post at least 1 or 2 videos every week, different subjects. If you have a subject that you want to hear more about, go ahead, leave it in the comment. I'll make sure to read, and if possible, I'll record the video and even mention your name on our next video. Thank you very much.